Hi, Scott Orlin with Cinema-Magazin. You saw her in Glee, you may have even seen her on Broadway, and now she's a scream queen. Lea Michele.
That was a great
Follow
intro.
you too. Thank you. I can be spontaneous like that. What's really interesting, because there's these anthology type series where you have the same actors, but they play different characters every year. You now go on to a whole different scenario, but you play the same character.
Yeah.
So can you talk about how she's evolved in this new episode of Scream Queens?
Well, we know now that she's the killer, so that's a huge change from season 1. And it's been really fun to play. So we have the new environment, which has been really interesting. We're in the hospital setting, and my character's in a mental institution. So we have a different location, and then I also get to play now someone that we know was responsible for all of last season, and she's pretty crazy. And it's been fun. It's been great.
What is your own relationship to the horror genre? I mean, because even though this isn't a horror scenario, there's still some screams and
it's scary for sure.
Things.
When I saw the Green Meanie for the first time, I had to film a scene with him. I was so scared. I had to have the guy take the mask off occasionally so I could be like, it's you, right? But I love horror films. I really love, it's one of my favorite genres. I'll sit at home and my favorite night is just pizza and a scary movie. So, I've been a fan of this genre for such a long time. I didn't really think that I'd be sort of in the world, and now that I am, but it's basically comedy as well, so it does make sense.
And what I find really fascinating about this show, and I'm sure a lot of people agree, is the female empowerment.
Yeah.
That, Ryan has specifically kind of geared this to give a female perspective on it. Can you talk a little bit about what we're seeing, or this show is allowing us to see, and maybe other shows don't?
Right. Well, all I know is that Ryan Murphy, what he does for women is so incredible. He writes incredible material. Look at Sarah Paulson every season on all these different shows, and then getting to play Marsha Clark or Jessica Lange. These roles are so incredible. What he writes for women, he gives us such incredible dialogue and great characters to play. And also, on this show, we have the girls were kicking ass. Can we say kicking butt? And that's so cool. At the end of the day, they're tough, they're strong, they're independent. Obviously, they're quirky and they're funny, but at the end of the day, they're tough girls, and that's really fun what we want as women. We want to play those kinds of roles.
And not only is this woman tough, but she is an incredible singer. And I'm sure many of you remember her work on Glee, but she has a new album that's going to be coming out next year.
Yep.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because it's a little different direction for you. It's kind of, you said, going back to your roots.
Right.
How excited are you to venture down this path?
I'm so excited. I'm very proud of my first record, but I really learned a lot from that experience. As I mentioned earlier today, it's been really fun to have the opportunity to work separate on my television show with no singing, and then get to really focus on my music. Aside from that, it's allowed me to really think about what kinds of songs I really want to be singing and what kind of music I really want to have out there. And I think people are going to really love it. It does really, kind of mirror the Barbra Streisand, Celine Dion songs that I listened to growing up. But more so at the end of the day, it doesn't sound like anyone other than me, and that's all I wanted to make with this record.
Well, starting now, we're going to make sure that we get watched.
Yes!
And listen to them. As always, such a pleasure, Lea Michele.
Thank you.
And this is Scott Orlin. Until next time.
Great job. Nice.